So I wanted to talk about an unpopular subject, rather a subject of intrigue and interest to the engaging mind. Our ego minds get hooked by these things. Spiritual warfare, dark shamans, black magic arts, psychic warfare. I remember the song by a band called The Veteran of the Psychic Wars, you know. This is true. The reason your Siddhis, the Sanskrit word for powers, if you will, that Patanjali talks about, the yoga chronicler, describer from the 11th century, Patanjali, the reason we lose our Siddhis, the reason you've lost remote viewing, the reason you've lost remote influencing with your voice, being able to speak it into fruition. Do you know in original magic, the reason the Sanskrit Vedas were chanted, and back then, and this is the story of the Tower of Babel as well, right? Before we started babbling and just nonsensical, deconstructed, destroyed language, before that we used what we use in the heavens, in the causal world, in the astral worlds. We use an intentional creation language that as you say it, so it becomes. So says me. Open says me. Open sesame, right? That used to be our powerful language. The reason we've lost these powers of insight, connection with God, the power to speak it, the power of love affecting it, the power to know all things through your solar chakra, the reason these things have been shut down is because we scared ourselves with these powers. We misused them, if you will. We used them to control others, or were controlled by others, and these psychic powers became shut off inside us. Yes, so we lost our powers because we felt we misused it. We used it on each other, sending darts at each other. In the shamanic traditions in ayahuasca down in Peru, which we do trips to, check out Spirit Travel, spiritualtravelers.com, click on the ayahuasca button. We go with a partner down there. You can go any time of the year, basically, 9 months out of the year. So, but the shamans down there, the brujos, the dark ones, will throw darts at each other. These darts actually stick into each other, and they have little cords coming out of them that they can drain your energy, control you, etc. These things are real. Now, in scientism in the Western world, we've tried to shut that off. But it's the dirty little secret of spirituality. This is gurus and cults and the traveling shaman that comes through town and says, I'll do soul retrieval for you. Well, he might be doing implanted stuff to control you instead. You need to learn to discern. You need to learn to feel the difference. Does this feel good to me? Now, naturally, many of us just do this. We can just go, that doesn't feel good, you know. And we don't examine it so much. We just know this feels good and that doesn't. One of the favorite ploys of the ego mind or the battle mind, there's an aspect of creation of God that is warrior. Okay. It's when we divide it into the yin and the yang, the male and the female. There was a battle, right? You've heard of the battle of the sexes, right? Well, imagine that battle on a cosmic scale. The dark matrix, Ma tricks, Ma and her tricks, right? That's how God Father views it sometimes. Mother and her dark art tricks. And Mother views Father as you lightning bolt tyrant that tells everyone what to do, controlling bastard. All right? So that yin and yang, I know I'm joking about that a little, but that's really what's going on. So that reflects itself on Earth as what? Divorce lawyers, right? And Mother and Father not being able to talk to each other, not being able to work it out, yet being irresistibly somehow attracted to each other sexually. And it's this bizarre love-hate relationship going on. So battle became a thing. And each side, the mother and the father, created spirits, if you will, that would battle the other side. So we've had warfare, spiritual warfare. You know, sometimes humans try to say, oh, we're so horrible, we've had 3,000 wars in 3,000 years, all the other star beings out there, all the other planets in the universe are peaceful. That's not how it is. Star Wars is a pretty accurate depiction. Steven Spielberg is tapping into, George Lucas, tapping into a galactic situation. So this warfare goes on across the galaxy. But when you are ready to not be part of it, you can merge that yin and yang, that warfare, the male-female principle, if you will, depending on how you describe this. You can merge that inside yourself, and you can quit war. You can lay down your sword and shield down by the riverside, right? You can turn your your guns, your swords into plowshares. This is the disengagement. The rules of disengagement, instead of the rules of engagement that warfare has, it's the rules of disengagement. Gandhi touched upon it. He felt that if I disengage internally, yet still hold my principles, and still claim and intend what we want, we will get it without the warfare. This is why he struck such a chord in all of us, that it's inspired Martin Luther King. So this disengagement doesn't mean you're a wimp. To turn the other cheek doesn't mean that you let yourself be beaten up. Not at all. Okay? It is actually a more powerful place. But here's the key. Gandhi got shot. He got assassinated. Now I'm going to say something spiritually incorrect, right? The reason you can be gotten is because a part of you is still frequencying, vibrating at the resentment, engagement, wanting to get them, make them wrong, judge them. Okay? Once you completely allow, quote, good and evil in the universe, it has its place, it has its role. It's simply a reflection. What we call evil is simply an out-picturing, as within, so without. As we are within, so our world reflects back to us, right? And it's a harsh teacher. I understand. Been through it, Dark nights of the soul seem to be part of the awakening process. You will spend periods undergoing the passage that occurs in the Great Pyramid, by the way. People always want to go up to what's called the King's Chamber. It's not the King's Chamber, it's the Ascension Chamber, it's the Awakening Chamber, right? Had nothing to do with kings or queens. But then there's what's called the Queen's Chamber halfway down. Maybe I'll put a graph of it over here. But underground is the pit, or the well, more accurately perhaps called. The well, that's the darkness. That's facing the dark within us. That had to be done first in the Egyptian ascension process. The initiates went through diet, yoga, training, physical training, mental understanding, all that for years until the high priest would decide or would know that soul is ready for the initiation. Well, where they went first was in that chamber down below, underground. To what? To see if they were clean. To start facing their demons, the dark side, if you will, right? The spiritual warfare, the subconscious crap, the stuff stuck in your bones, your self-hatred, your grief, your huge sadness, your rage, full-on rage, your terror. Why is there a war on terror? Because terror is that which we fear the most. We fear our own fear the most. All right, that's a little bit on that. I know, and I am going to do a whole series on just emotional healing and how to do this, the emotional healing. All right, thanks so much. Check out the books too, if you're interested, on Amazon, Awakening Souls and Listening to the Sun. All right, thank you.